Welcome to Movies with MacLean. I'm Andrew MacLean, and this is my weekly movie podcast where we talk all things movies, including movie news, new releases, and our favorite classics. I bring on guests to talk movies with me every week, and today my guest is Joey Belcastro. Joey, how are you doing?
Hello! I'm doing great, MacLean. How about yourself?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you for coming today. I'm glad to have you. And today our topic is horror movies. Now, we have talked horror before, but in the past it was just myself talking, and we have a guest today, and we're talking about a lot of different horror movies. It's a good time to talk horror as well, because this is the season of horror movies. January, February, we have Ring, Split, all sorts of horror movies coming out now.
And Get Out.
Yeah, Get Out. Yeah, it'll be coming out. So, before we get into the main show, I have an announcement to make regarding the future of this podcast. If you've been watching our show recently, you've noticed that there are two guys who've been on a lot more than most guests. They've been here many of the past few weeks. So I've been doing this by myself at least every week for 30 episodes now, but it's my pleasure to announce our two permanent hosts that will be joining me for the remainder of the run of this podcast. So, without further ado, here are the two guests.
What's up, guys?
Alright. Eric Thomas.
That's right. Griffin and Eric will be permanent hosts now, and we will still have other guests every week, or most weeks, but us three will be here every week from now on, and I want to say thank you to you guys for your commitment to this podcast, and I look forward to the future that we have together.
As do I.
We're going to be having some good times here, boys. Some good times.
Alright, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to get into our main show, and our first topic, our first segment today is the Netflix Rundown, where we talk about all of the movies that are new to Netflix in the month of February. And on February 1st, we have the Blair Witch Project, but we're actually going to talk about that later in our main topic. So the only movie we'll be talking about today for this segment is Superbad, which is coming to Netflix February 4th. So, Griffin, you want to start us off talking about Superbad?
See, Superbad is one of my favorite comedies because it's one of Seth Rogen's first... It's one of his first movies. It might be his first, I think. But it introduces Jonah Hill as an actor back when he used to just do more funny stuff. And it's just your classic stoner, laugh-out-loud movie to me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. It's kind of gives that like Pineapple Express kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a funny like feel good kind of movie of kids. Literally, I think the plot is kids literally just trying to find alcohol to throw a party and impress girls. So I mean, it's not like too deep, but it's funny.
It's very funny.
I mean, one of my friends still has a McLevin driver's license in his wallet as a joke because that's what one of the characters tries to do. So.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, even though I have never seen the movie. It just sounds super bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think it sounds bad?
I don't know, it's just the title, man. You just talked about stoners and jokes.
Alright.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but it's definitely one I need to watch. It's one I get crap for not having seen, so definitely need to watch that soon. Do we have anything else on Superbad?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll move on to the movie news, and we have one particular story that we'll be talking about in depth today, and this sucks. You know, we were talking a couple weeks ago, Ben Affleck said, don't worry guys, I'm going to direct the Batman. Well, he's not directing the Batman. This is Affleck's official statement. Ben Affleck says, there are certain characters who hold a special place in the hearts of millions. Performing this role demands focus, passion, and the very best performance I can give. It has become clear that I cannot do both jobs to the level they require. That means acting and directing. Together with the studio, I've decided to find a partner and a director who will collaborate with me on this massive film. I am still in this and we are making it, but we are currently looking for a director. I remain extremely committed to this project and look forward to bringing this to life for fans around the world. So that's Affleck's statement, and my question to you guys is, are we buying this statement, or do we think it's a load of crap? Do we think it's just what he thinks we want to hear? Or so basically, is it actually because it was too much work for him, or was he just mad at the studio, didn't want to direct?
Well, I don't want to say. I told you so. I knew this was going to happen. I predicted that he was going to back out just because of this horrible movie franchise right now, because DC is just messing up every movie, so I just knew this was coming. But I honestly think it's a conflict he had with Warner Brothers. I mean, there's no way he would just back out on writing a Batman movie.
Well, he's still writing, but yeah, directing.
Well, yeah, directing.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
directing. He'll still be acting.
I think it's a load of crap. I think he had conflicts with the creative process, and they just didn't really agree, so he just said, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see where he's come from. Like, acting, writing, and directing movies is a lot of work, but I'm with Griff. I don't know. I think it's just some conflict that he's been going through. Because, I mean, a couple months ago, he said he was definitely going to direct it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the workload was the same amount back then. I'm sure it didn't change that much to where he felt he can't do it anymore now. So he probably just ran into some road bumps, but no matter what the reason is, it sucks. That's not the news we wanted to hear. We wanted Affleck directing this Batman.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, I don't really have much to say. I know that everyone's pretty disappointed in it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's really all I gotta say. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, for me, I think, like, I could buy this, except he just said, like, a month ago, like he said, that he was going to direct it, so I feel like he wouldn't have said that if he was...
Something had to happen.
He was, like, all over the
now.
place with it, so I think he's just, yeah.
Yeah, and what sucks the most, I think, is that now, like, he's going to be mad at the studio, maybe, and not going to maybe give the best performance. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope he gives a good performance, but...
I don't think he'll do that.
Yeah, I can see.
Hopefully, I hope he won't.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just a tough situation right now. Like, DC's just really screwing everything up, honestly. They're losing Batman director, they've lost a Wonder Woman director, 3 directors for The Flash. It's just, man, they need to get their act together.
The movies are horrible.
That just shows you that something has to be going on with the studio. If that many directors are quitting these movies, there has to be something else going on there that is, like, making not able to do their job. That, like, the majority of people don't know about.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Warner Brothers, with other than DC, like, they're a great studio. Like, they make Mad Max, The Nice Guys, like, a lot of great movies in the past couple of years, so I don't know what the deal is with DC, but another question I have for you guys is, now that Affleck isn't going to direct, who do we want to direct, and who do we think is going to direct? So I have a list that you can pull from, or if you have another name, so... Potential directors are Gavin O'Connor, who just made The Accountant with Affleck and Warner Brothers, and he also made Warrior, which is a great MMA movie. David Fincher, Denis Villeneuve, Christopher Nolan, Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon, or George Miller. So first, who do you think is most likely to direct, and then who do you want to direct? Griff?
It's hard to say, honestly. I feel like they're going to pick Snyder, just because he's just so close to the studio, and they're gonna pick him, because he's obviously the person I don't want the most, so I feel like that's who they're gonna pick. Honestly, it's hard to choose if I wanted a director. I would say Nolan, but I've already seen his Batman movie, so I don't really want more of him. I really can't say now. I don't know yet. I don't know. Hopefully they just choose someone who is good and not Snyder, but as of right now, I don't know. I can't choose.
Joey?
I can't really choose either. I'm with Griffin. I'm not really too familiar with any of these guys, but I'm sure they need to fix it up in the future, because I don't want the Batman to go downhill, because I love Batman. Like, you know? Like, everyone loves Batman.
Everyone loves Batman.
You don't want Batman to go down
we
the
don't
drain.
we don't want another Batman and Robin. Or
Oh, gosh, no. Yeah, I think they're going to pick Snyder again, obviously. Honestly, holy crap, I can't talk. But honestly, if they do pick that, I don't think I'll see the movie. I will be pissed.
I won't see it. I won't see it.
You won't see a Batman movie?
I won't go and see it. It'll just ruin it for me.
I'll be so pissed. He sucks. But who I would want to see direct, gosh,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio. No, I'm kidding. I'm blanking it. The guy who directed The Warrior, you just ran through the list. Yeah,
really?
Because I think he's worked with Affleck before, so I think that would, if anything's going on, like, tension-wise, that would be good for that. And the Warrior was such a good movie. It's such, like, a dark, like, you know what I mean? It has, they can take that MMA type
Great
of fighting.
story within an
great
MMA
story,
movie.
yeah.
Great,
so you can take
great
that kind of
fight
fighting
scenes,
that Batman has and put a great story into it. So I think that's who I would put as who I would want to see take over as directing.
Yeah, so I think the most likely is probably Gavin O'Connor or David Fincher because they're the two most recent guys to direct Ben Affleck in a movie besides Zack Snyder and himself, because David Fincher made Gone Girl, and he's also worked with
Pretty good.
yeah,
Not
good
good,
movie,
yeah.
yeah. He's also worked with Warner Brothers before, so I think both of those guys have good relations with the studio. Dennis Villeneuve also, because Blade Runner 2049 he's making with Warner Brothers, so I think he has a good chance. Really, I'd see any of those guys direct. Nolan, while he's made the two best Batman movies ever, two of the best comic book movies of all time, he's also, we've seen his Batman movies before.
Yeah,
I don't need to
I've
see
seen
another
them
one.
I feel
Yeah.
like it would just be a repeat kind of, it would just be the same feeling.
Mm-hmm. And then Zack Snyder, I feel like he's going to be too busy with Justice League, so I'm hoping he's not going to direct. But George Miller would be really cool. That's probably my top pick, because of Mad Max, one of my favorite action movies. I think I'd like to see some big action set pieces in a Batman movie that also has a good story. And I feel like George Miller's the best guy to do that, but he's making the Mad Max sequel, so I don't know about that. So
Yeah, I feel like he won't take it.
yeah, I feel like Gavin O'Connor's probably who it's gonna be though. So we'll move on to our next news story. This is our last news story today. So if you remember, Leonardo DiCaprio just won Best Actor last year, and since then he has made nothing. He took the year off. So now Leo has announced, or Variety has reported that Leo will be starring in The Black Hand, which is a Prohibition-era mafia thriller, starring Leo, and he'll play an NYPD detective in that era. And he's trying to take down the gang, the Black Hand, and this is a true story as well. So, what are your thoughts on this, Griffin? You excited for this?
I'm definitely excited for this movie. I love every DiCaprio movie, and especially when he's a detective. We've seen him twice as a detective in Shutter Island and in The Departed, which were both some of my favorite movies of all time. So this movie just gets me even more hyped, especially since it's mobster themed, like you said, in the Prohibition era. It gets me so excited.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that. I love, just like you said, about every single DiCaprio movie. And that detective role that he played in Shutter Island was awesome.
That was great.
I love that movie. I just think that's really exciting. I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah. I mean, any movie from that time period, I get excited. It doesn't even matter who's in it. But especially now that DiCaprio's in it, I am very excited. I mean, I feel like we haven't gotten a really, really good, Prohibition gangster movie. You know what I mean?
Not in a while, yeah.
Yeah, So, it's going to be good.
We know he can,
I don't see how they can mess this up.
He can play a part in that age, too, because, he was in The Aviator and even in Gatsby, he knows how to play those type of
Gatsby
roles.
was a bag of shit.
Well, yeah, Gatsby was horrible, but, he wasn't bad.
When does that come out?
It's no date.
Yeah,
they just
so
announced
far
it,
away.
so, yeah. All right, that's all we have in the news today. So we're going to get on to our main topic of horror movies. And leading us off today, Griffin, which movie did you want to talk about first?
I'm going to say probably Insidious.
All right.
Insidious was my first scary movie I ever watched as a kid, and it scared the living shit out of me. And it was the first movie to, in my opinion, to master, the pop-out scenes and it still had, a really good plot to it. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good pop-outs, when we were talking about before, when the red guy just comes right behind the lady's face.
Oh my
and
god.
boom.
Yeah.
There's so many different pop-outs, the grandma at the end. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's probably in my top 5 scary movies.
Yeah, that's a good
because
one.
Yeah.
It's so, I don't know, the plot's really good.
And like you said,
It's
same
a
with
well
me.
done movie.
That was one of the first really, really scary
Yeah.
movies I ever seen.
Uh-huh.
I remember I couldn't sleep
Yeah.
days after.
Oh, it was the same
It
way.
got in my head.
Yeah.
And not even just pop outs, but they had some just like unsettling.
Well, the
scenes,
music,
you know?
music was the scariest part.
Yeah, like that high pitched music as he's like sharpening like his claws.
And the dude just
yeah.
like walking outside on the doorstep. Remember, he's just pacing back and forth. It's just like, oh my.
The old
goodness.
opera music. I was. So
yeah. Or the scene where he's at. There's all like the mannequins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
that's
it's like you're just waiting for one of them. You know.
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Insidious. It's one of the few on here that I haven't seen. I'm not the biggest horror fan, so that's why I haven't seen a few of these. But I am a fan of James Wan, the director. I think he's the sort of the modern, like the best modern horror director. And I'm a fan of the cast. I like both Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne. So I'm sure what you guys are saying is true. It does seem like it's a good horror movie that I need to check out. Did anyone have anything else on that? All right, Joey, what's the one you wanted to talk about next?
I'd like to talk about Sinister. That's probably one of my all-time favorite scary movies. I think they just did it like perfectly. Like they showed like sometimes in scary movies they'll show like the demon or the ghost like too much or like not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they did just the perfect amount building up to the suspense. Once you see the guy, it's like, oh god, there he is, and then like he comes back not too often.
They didn't
but, like,
show
the
him enough to
perfect
ruin
amount.
the movie.
And just like the music in the movie was like horrible. Like it was so scary. Oh my gosh. The music in that movie is so scary, and all the scenes, the movie tapes, the concept of the movie in general is just, it's cool but very scary. Yeah.
I'll go next. I really like this movie, and I think it has probably the best horror movie soundtrack that I've ever heard. You could literally play that in like a field of like daisies and you'd be scared. Like it doesn't even matter. Like just hearing that music. But the only thing I will say is because I'm friends with Joey, I think he overhyped it a little too much. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's another thing with scary movies that like it's all about like where you watch the movie. We were talking about this earlier. Like sometimes like Griffin came up to me saying that Conjuring was like one of the scariest movies he's seen, and like I watched it and we watched it together, and like it just wasn't as scary as he said it was because the situation where he watched it the first time was just in a lot darker room. Like you got to be watching the movies when it's nighttime.
Yeah, you got to be watching like a dark room.
Yeah, you got to be by yourself in the house alone.
Yeah,
the room has to be cold.
You need to sneak into a haunted house, actually abandoned. Set up your TV by yourself. You need to be playing a Ouija board while watching these movies.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. The soundtrack, I didn't think it was the best.
Really?
I think The Shining takes it for me.
But
I mean, this is definitely has a horrid, gruesome soundtrack.
Could we play it? Would that sound good on this, or what do you think? Do you think it'd...
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put you down. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so that's a little example for you. Horrible, horrible.
Sounds like that.
Got that on SoundCloud because it was so scary.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All right, well I haven't seen it either, so I can't say anything about that one. But we'll move on to Eric. Which one do you want to start us off with for your first one?
I think I'm gonna have to go all-time favorite horror movie. Griffin, just alluded to it, The Shining.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to agree. Yeah, that's my favorite horror movie.
Man, this movie is just like something else. I love because horror, like the genre, is so broad. There's so many different kind of like horror movies. It's so different than Insidious and like Sinister, as it's not really like super scary. Where you like makes you like jump out of your seat, but it's just so like disturbing and unsettling. And it makes you think so much. I mean, there's a whole movie just talking about theories for this movie, so that's how you know how good it is.
Yeah. Like I watched this movie recently, and it's an older film, so like you gotta like take that into consideration. But I thought it was really good. As you said, it is different. It's completely different than like the pop out scary movies now. But I think, like you said, it's very unsettling. The music is very great in it, and it just got you thinking at the end. You see that picture at the end when it's 1921 and the movie is 1980. It's just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I was just gonna say like what I love the most about this movie is Jack Nicholson's performance.
Oh yeah.
He just had me like he just had my eyes glued to the screen, just wondering what this guy was gonna do next the whole time I'm watching this movie. It's weird because like his craziness almost like makes me kind of like crazy as well, just watching the movie.
Yeah.
Like, just thinking, oh my god, this guy's insane, but I love it. I want to see what's gonna happen. And I also just love the cinematography, like the sweeping shots of the hotel. I think it's the best I've seen in any horror movie. And I mean, you'd expect that from Stanley Kubrick, one of the all-time great directors. What are your thoughts, Griff?
I mean, this is definitely my favorite scary movie of all time. I could literally go all day just like discussing theories.
We did a whole
once.
episode.
I mean,
just
the theories on this movie are endless. That's what I think is really cool, and I think Kubrick did that on purpose, just to kind of just make it endless. I mean, his role in this movie is just like outstanding. He did a phenomenal job acting as the role. I think he really got into the part, and it almost reminded me of like his Joker.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. And then it obviously has like one of the most famous movie quotes of all time. Here's Johnny. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So Joe kind of alluded at it for a second. I don't know, but you know, spoilers right here. I won't, just real brief. I want to know what you guys think. You know, like what your theories on the movie. You know, spoilers and everything. So if you haven't seen the movie,
put a warning up.
Yeah, just skip a minute or two.
I think that he's in hell, and that's all I really want to say, because you can really go around that with anything. Because a lot of people think it's the Native Americans torturing him. But you can all kind of put it together if you just say he's in hell, reliving his life. I think he killed his family, or he's getting punished through multiple families, and he has to kill them. I don't know, but some kind of hell he's stuck in.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, I was thinking like another one is just like he's insane. Like he's walking into the bar area, and like people all of a sudden are there. Like he's like almost like in different. Yeah, he's like I don't know if he's like hallucinating or if he's like somehow like back talking to those people. What's going on? But yeah, it's just wild.
Yeah.
Very wild.
I think kind of with Griff, I'm like, he's kind of like being punished for what happened, but I don't think he's actually like in hell.
Yeah.
But he's just being punished as he has to like relive a life where no matter what he does, he'll somehow go back to the hotel and somehow keep committing that crime.
There's a huge demonic theme in the movie.
And there's really a lot of loose ends, and I mean, we could argue it
like how do you
forever.
explain like the chick in the bathtub and like
The bear.
The bear and the dude.
pig. Yeah.
That was just what the heck is going on, man.
And I mean, even the black guy, and he talks about he knew that the kid had that like ability. He had the shining, and that guy has it too. What is going on with that? It's never even explained.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
if you really,
true.
I've gone back and watched this so many times. It's interesting to hear how people describe the hotel. How like I remember like the manager of the hotel was like, yeah, we've had lots of people stay here, only 4 presidents though, and some of the best celebrities. And I think he was like referring to hell when he was saying that. So like,
that's a
interesting. I
good
haven't
kind of
thought
crazy
about
when
it.
you think
like
about it.
Illuminati type
Yeah,
stuff.
it's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
And
that.
how he called like I remember he called the black guy like an outside source, like an angel.
Yeah.
Probably referring to him as.
Okay.
Yeah.
It gets pretty crazy though. I don't know.
Yeah, didn't think of that.
All right, we'll take the spoiler warning off now. It's off the screen. So I'm going to start. My first movie I want to talk about is The Babadook. So this is actually an Australian movie that came out in 2014. And what's crazy is the Australian Film Institute, which is like the Academy, but in Australia, this movie won Best Picture
Did it really?
in Australia. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Horror movie. It's a really good movie. It does have some scares, but it's more than it's almost like kind of a drama. Like, don't get me wrong, it's definitely a horror movie, but there's like a lot to think about watching this movie. It's like The Shining, kind of open-ended in what's really going on, but basically the premise is this woman has a kid, and the father passed away. This is not spoilers, you know this at the beginning of the movie. The father passed away when she was driving to the hospital to give birth to the kid, and this kid's like incredibly annoying, and he like believes in a bunch of monsters and stuff, and then they read this book about Mr. Babadook, and then she thinks that the Babadook starts like haunting her as well and haunting their house. And basically the movie's about like grief and also about like her sort of hatred for this kid and how she overcomes that. But at the same time, there's the monster they're dealing with. But you never really know if the monster's actually real or if they're just seeing it because they're both crazy. It's hard to talk about without spoiling a lot of it, but it's a movie I definitely recommend. Great acting all around. Doesn't rely on jump scares, but it has that just atmosphere that makes that makes it scary, and it'll have you on the edge of your seat the whole time. So I definitely recommend The Babadook. It's on Netflix, so no excuse not to watch it. Have any of you guys seen it?
I've not.
No.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things, so no excuse. I gotta go watch it now.
All right, Griff, what's the next one you want to talk about?
All right, I'm gonna start with The Conjuring. Hands down, this is the scariest movie I think I've ever seen. I mean, it messed with me for so many nights, and I only watched it like I think 2 years ago. This movie scared the living crap out of me. I mean, it's about demonic possession, and I think they hit it right on the nail. And it was like just so realistic to me, and it freaked me out. What do you guys think?
Yeah, like you said, it was like the scariest one you ever seen.
Yeah.
What I said like about how like the environment that you watch a movie in, but I'm gonna have to say that demon in that movie, like the lady when she turns in, that is just horrifying. She's very scary, and I think a few scenes in that are scary. Yeah, I think that's a very good scary movie.
There's definitely
one of my favorites, honestly.
There's definitely some pop-out scares, but like it's not even a pop-out movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a movie that just messes with you.
Yeah,
It wasn't even like a scare. It was definitely scary as I was watching it, but it haunted me even after watching it because I was just thinking about it.
Do not want to see that face of that lady.
Because like in the movie, they say the more you get scared, the more likely you are to be
concept
possessed
of that
by
movie
a
was
demon.
got in
Like,
your
it
head.
just got in my head so much.
Yeah.
You performed an exorcism before, right, Eric?
Yeah, I actually have a couple times. It's a good time. You know, you get thrown up a couple times, but you know, it's no big deal. It's no big deal.
So what are your thoughts on The Conjuring? Is it like the real thing?
Oh, it's very realistic, yeah. I would definitely, from an expert opinion, I would definitely say it's very realistic, yeah. I mean, I could see myself doing the same exact thing that they were doing in the movie.
Yeah, we're being sarcastic right now, just in case people didn't know.
I'm not being sarcastic. I'm a priest. But I thought it was scary. It's definitely more an Insidious type of movie, and dude, I watched it more like recently, and it's pretty hard for me to get scared from like movies. But dude, there were some scenes where I was like literally like,
I didn't even want to go outside in the dark. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is horrifying.
Yeah, it's definitely like The Shining, my all-time favorite horror movie, but this is my favorite like modern horror.
Exactly. Yeah, same here.
Because they're really so different, even though they're horror movies, you know.
I think Juan does a great job of setting that atmosphere, right, with his house. Like I said with the Babadook, I think he does a good job of that in this movie too. And the crazy thing is, it was rated R like just for scares, which like I don't know if it's happened ever before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very scary, and it doesn't rely on the jump scares. But then there are a few.
There are some, and they will get you.
The demons in this movie are so scary.
Yeah, like Joey said, that lady is just like awful.
When she's on top of that thing, like you know how you got that dresser in your room, and you just imagine her.
There's a couple other
that
ones
was
too,
just brutal.
like the Annabelle demon. They even made a sequel about it.
Yeah,
which is just
That place, like that's a real place. Like the museum. Yeah. I had some 10-year-old girl as a customer one time who was asking her dad if they could go to that museum with all the haunted artifacts. It was really messed up.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I would never want to.
I don't know why you would even want to go close to that.
I don't know why you'd let your 10-year-old daughter watch The Conjuring, but
oh God. Oh jeez, I can't even imagine being 10 and watching that movie.
Yeah, but we all enjoy it, so pretty much consensus there. It's a great horror movie. We'll move on. Joey, which movie did you want to talk about?
I was going to talk about the Blair Witch Project. I sat down with Griffin, and we watched that probably 5-6 months ago. I don't know if it was in the summertime or what, but I don't think we knew what we were expecting.
We were expecting something different.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like the reviews for the movie overall are like really good because it's the first kind of movie that.
It was handheld filming.
Yeah, it was handheld filming, and that's not what we were expecting whatsoever. Another thing that was disappointing is because all the suspense was like built up, and then just at the end you see nothing. It's just like nothing at the end. But like, it's very understandable how like people could really like that movie because they got scared like a long time ago because it's one of the first movies ever like that. But yeah, we were expecting something completely different.
It gives a more realistic vibe.
Yeah, it was very realistic.
But like, we were just expecting this pop out witch movie.
Yeah. If you watch it now, I feel like we are kind of like almost spoiled with the horror movies we have now with like the Conjuring stuff. If you watch the Conjuring and then go watch that, you're like, you know what I mean? So like, you kind of have to take it for what it is. But I could see how, like back then, how people were that scared.
Yeah, I've talked to like a lot of adults, and they love it.
Yeah, because it feels real. Like there were adults who legit believed that they like actually just found this footage in like the woods.
Because the actors used like their real names, and they put out like missing posters for the people in the movie, like to promote it. Like
they made it all like very real. So like they actually thought it was like they didn't think this was a movie being made. They thought this was like a real thing, which really adds like the scariness to it.
Yeah, it's really impressive too that it cost like $60,000 to make. Like they just did it all on the handheld camera, and it made back 40,000% of its budget. It made $240 million.
That is ridiculous. Wow.
Whoever directed that movie is
it's feeling pretty good about
wealthy. I haven't seen it, but I don't know if I'd like it just because.
I think you'd appreciate it.
Nothing really happens like
you
might have to appreciate it. You got to know what you're expecting before you watch it, though. Because I remember just like sitting there with like just being ready for a pop out and just never.
We were just waiting.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool if they almost did like redid it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they added like some.
That would be really.
Well, they made that sequel. I heard was like.
Did they?
Trash,
I didn't even know. It probably is trash if I haven't even.
Yeah.
All right, so Eric, what do you want to talk about?
I'm gonna bring it more back to one of the classics, and I think we should talk about Halloween. This is like I think almost like the third category of horror movies. You know, there's like those pop out scare new ones. There's those like.
This is like the classics.
Yeah, these are the classics.
That's the movie that when I walked outside on the street, I was scared because I did not want to see that man.
Yeah.
Michael Myers. Oh, man.
Like, he's just a slow, like, strong dude that falls
indestructible.
Yeah.
He's just so, like, I like how slow he is, but he somehow always
he's always there. He's always there.
And really, like, now, like I said, how we're kind of spoiled, now we kind of almost, like, laugh at it, like, looking back at it. But I love it, because it's so, like, classic, and it has those classic horror movie feels, you know?
It's a great movie to watch, like, every Halloween. Like, I used to...
I watch it every Halloween. It's honestly, like, I think it's number 3 on my horror movie list. It's just, like...
No, it's number 4.
So classic.
Yeah, I think it's your number 4.
Okay.
I think you're wrong, Griff.
Joe, you got anything to say?
No, I just think it's your number 4, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one just to put on, like, a Halloween party or something, you know? Like, just kind of in the background, like, it's, you know, so...
It's definitely a good movie, like, if you have a list of, like, your top horror movies to be number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a number 3, like, you're probably not a very good, like, movie watcher, but number 4 is good.
Okay.
Yeah. We can continue this podcast without you, Griff, if you're, like, leave.
Alright, I guess
Alright, Griffin's gone now. We can start again now that Griffin's gone. Did we have a whole lot else on Halloween, or, we haven't talked about it that much, but,
yeah, I mean,
a classic.
Yeah, just ultra classic movie.
Next movie.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. Alright, so my last movie, and the last one we're going to talk about is The Thing. Also directed by John Carpenter, who made Halloween. This is just an awesome horror movie with a great premise. There's 12 guys in a lab in Antarctica, and this parasite is in the lab, and it starts taking over people, imitating them, and you don't know who's real and who's the thing, and it's just insane, just suspense building the whole time, and then it really pays off when the thing attacks. It's just ultra violent. I'll tell you, the scenes, they're pretty gory, but they're pretty awesome, honestly. Like,
and which is good because, like, you're waiting so long and you don't know who it is, and then all of a sudden it just, like, attacks and it just rips them apart.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my god.
Have you seen it, Griff?
I haven't seen it.
I
heard it's a like a classic monster movie.
Yeah. What they said, like, when they were explaining it to me, sounded like you said, really, like, suspenseful, and the whole concept of, like, being in the same room with someone who's, like, about to, like, destroy you is just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
That seems really suspenseful.
Yeah, and it's like everyone thinks like, well, it could be this guy or it could be these three guys. So
Exactly.
Yeah,
like nobody
exactly.
trusts
Yeah.
each other. They're all like they're in danger of either being killed by the thing or killing each other too.
Yeah.
So it's just incredibly suspenseful. Movie about paranoia.
When was it
really.
made, do you know?
1982.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So some of the effects, like it's all practical effects, and some of it's like you can tell it's fake, but that's like forgivable
Yeah,
because
it's
of
the
the
80s.
time.
Was
Yeah.
that before Halloween? He made
was
that?
after.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like the next movie he made after Halloween, I think.
Yeah, but it gets it because everyone wants to be like the viewer, where like you guess the ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the whole time you're just guessing, and it doesn't matter what the characters do. You always think like they could literally just be like, oh, we need to get in a safe place, and you're like, what are they trying to get them in like
Yeah.
a safe place just to kill them,
Yeah.
or is it just like are they actually
That
trying to like
sounds so
be?
good.
Sounds really
I
good.
need to watch it.
It does. It like yeah, it's probably the coolest like premise of
Uh,
any movie on this list, I think.
and
So-
I think it's great how like they put the focus on like certain characters to make you think like it's this person,
Mhm.
and then like switch it
Switches.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
wow.
it's like you're like, oh, I know it's this guy. I know for
Yeah.
sure. And then like 10 minutes later, it's like, there's no way it's that guy. It's this guy now, and I know it.
Let's
So,
watch it, Griff.
Oh,
You guys should watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely watch
It's
it.
probably my second favorite after The Shining. Yeah.
Oh wow. I
Great
definitely
horror
wanna watch
movie.
it.
All right, well, that's all we have today. I want to thank all of the viewers. Thank you for sticking with us for this long. And big shout out to Matt Vorbroker. If you're looking at that logo that we have, Matt made that, so thank you, Matt. if
Yeah,
you're
that's
listening.
awesome.
And thank you to my new co-hosts, Griffin and Eric.
What's up?
They'll be back next week and every week now, so get used to them. And thank you, Joey. I hope you come back.
No
Had a
problem. I
good
really
time.
appreciate it. Love talking about movies.
If you ever need a priest, you have my number.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, so thanks to everyone for watching, and we'll be back next week.